The purpose is not the same depending on where people are coming from. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of information do I need to put in my front page for people to get to know me and want to work with me long term, or are curious enough to check out what I have to offer?
Hello, and welcome to our website review series, where we have Podia Pros review real Podia websites, share their expertise, and answer your questions. My name is Ben Tolson, and today I'm joined by Podia Pro educator Marie Drouvin. Marie helps French entrepreneurs find the right tools, launch their projects online, and set up their technical ecosystems. She also manages Just French It, which is an online school of French with students in over 32 countries. Marie, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm very glad to be here. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, we're honored for you to be with us. You ready to dive into the first website?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. This website was submitted by a relationship coach who helps clients achieve a level of self-love and acceptance combined with curiosity and compassion. Very cool. Their main question is there too much on my homepage?
The short answer is yes. But there is plenty of things on the homepage actually working here. When you arrive there, you see straight away what it's about. And that's the main purpose of your front page, right? It's to tell what you do and to catch people and to speak to prospect directly, right? And that is something that is working really well here. We understand straight away with your hook here that find your way to peace, happiness, and more loving relationship is definitely what we want. But if we're scrolling down a little bit more into your page, it's true that it is very long. It is very, very long. But there's plenty of different parts that are working. One thing I want to say also is that your website is very personal. We see your face, Sorel, straight away. And I think that's very human and that's very good there. But we see your face here. We see your face again here in your biography, which is actually really good too. And it might be a little too much, a little redundant at times. It's especially clear here on the first two blocks that you have. You have a block that is very well written with a call to action straight away above the fold, so that's really good. But then you have another block that has the same purpose. This block and this block have the same purpose. You sending them to free booking, I suppose. Is that clear?
Yeah, so what you're saying is both of those blocks look like they kind of take up about the same amount of vertical space, which is lengthening the page, which is something you called out. But they're also attempting to do the same thing, sending someone to the same place, correct?
Yes.
And so it feels a little bit redundant, like maybe there needs to be something in between the two to break it up, or maybe they just don't need that second part.
Yeah, I think you could get rid of the second part here. It's good because it's also centered on the pain points of your client. In the first one, it's more positive. You're talking about what you can do for them. But the second one is too much. Either you include the pain points in the first one a little bit more, and then you get rid of this one, and you're already saving like a big piece in your front page space. If that makes sense.
So, question for you because
yes.
one of the things that we encourage creators to do with some of those selling sections is to have, they have the main call to action, but to also find places, especially on a sales page, and sometimes creators use their homepage like they use a sales page, to take opportunities to address specific pain points and use those selling sections to give visitors additional opportunities to get into. So maybe the personal one didn't really speak to them, but then they see something listed in the pain point that is very specific to a struggle they're having, and they're like, and that kind of gets the visitor to tune in. So kind of taking the different approaches. There's that personal one at the top. How could they take the pain points that they mention in that second section and kind of incorporate those without it feeling too overwhelming or over the top?
There is two answers there. Either you break it down into something that is not really text, like a list, like a bullet point list. That usually is very efficient because it doesn't take a lot of space, but at the same time you are showing that you understand the person that is arriving on the website. The second way you can do that is incorporate it into the text, and you've done that actually here, Sorel. You said maybe you are struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, or PTSD, or your relationship is a bit of a car crash, etc. This is really good. These here, it's the pain points in a text format. Maybe you can develop it a little bit more, and so that way you don't have to have the second block.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a great insight. Thank you.
So what else? And it's kind of, I mean, the same thing applies to different parts of your front page. Here you have, it's very visual here. I like the fact that you've used the square, the windows here. It's really visual, and I think it draws the eyes to what needs to be addressed here. But if I remember correctly, it's like you're doing it again here. There's two parts with it, and I'm not sure we understand what is the difference between what you're talking about here, like the different services that you have, the one-on-one coaching, the women groups coaching, and then this second part here goes back, it goes a little bit deeper into the coaching, so maybe that needs to be on another page so that people who are interested in coaching will click on coaching and then arrive on a page where there is a little bit more information about the different kinds of coaching that you offer. You have to remember what is the purpose of your front page, and it all depends on where are the people coming from. If people are coming from Google and just searching a quick coaching, relationship coaching, and they're arriving on your website, then they're going to need more information to convert into clients. But if they are coming from, let's say, your social media like YouTube, maybe they've watched a video from you before and they're arriving on your front page. So yes, the purpose is not the same depending on where people are coming from. So you need to ask yourself, what kind of information do I need to put in my front page for people to get to know me and want to work with me long term, or are curious enough to check out what I have to offer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody is familiar because of things that you've posted on social media, they're already familiar with your coaching, and you want to make it easy for them when they land on your homepage to just find that information quickly. And otherwise, you want to use that page as a way for people to get to know you and build that know, like, and trust factor.
Yes, exactly. But in both situations, the purpose is more or less the same. You need to lead them where they need to go. And if there is too much information, people don't know where to click. Mm-hmm. So you need to concentrate the information, and if you need to, then you can send them to another page that will have more details and route them towards the page that is the most appropriate in their case.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What other, did you have any other notes for this website?
That was the main point. But yes, there is another thing that you can do when you have long texts like this. You can do a little bit of formatting there, because your eye needs to be able to scan the text very quickly. So if you are using bold and italics and you're making shorter sentences, it's easier to read, and people, I mean, the goal is for people to read what you have to say also. So to make them easy for them, use those formatting things. Like, for example, when you have a big text like this, it should be easy for me to identify the very important parts of it.
I kind of think about it like a newspaper when you think about headlines and how the headlines are designed to grab people's attention, and to, you know, if they only scan the headlines and they've flipped through the newspaper and they only scan the headlines, they can tell you what most of the stories are probably about.
Yes, and they will pick out on what is interesting to them as well, because they will find the words that they are interested in. Yeah, so
All
that
right.
was basically my view on this website. But the text is on point, the copywriting is on point, and I think you're doing a great job with being human there and coming across as someone who has expertise as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that review. I'm going to check and see if we've got any questions from folks. And I also want to call out Maya says hello from Arizona. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh, hello, Maya.
And Gloria sharing that it's helpful to be able to have the Spanish language option as well. Thank you, folks, so much for tuning in. Marie is one of our Podia Pros, and Podia Pros is a program that can connect you with expert designers, specialists, and educators who know Podia inside and out. And you can learn, there's Marie right there. You can learn more about this program at podia.com/podia-pros. Thank you again so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
for being here. Thank you for sharing so many great insights. If folks want to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, it's myname.com. So mariedrouvin.com. And you can book a meeting with me if you want me to review your site with you. And so we can work on improving that if you want to.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again very much. And thank you, folks, for tuning in. And we will see you next time.